Hello and welcome to another World of Warcraft video. My name is Jay Cool. Today I wanted to show you how you can get all of your tier set appearances in Season 1 of The War Within for all of your classes using alts. And today's guide will not require any group content or any difficult content beyond any tier 11 delves. We are in a new era for WoW, for us collectors, because every single tier set appearance from LFR to Mythic is available to the solo player. The tips and tricks I will be giving you in this video are specific to Season 2. However, much of what I'm going to be talking about today will remain relevant for the foreseeable future of WoW, unless Blizzard, for whatever reason, decides to make radical changes to either the catalyst or the upgrade system. The best way to unlock the tier set appearances is through an army of alts. For this reason, we are going to be taking advantage of the catalyst. The catalyst is a device in Dornigal that allows us to transform our gear into set gear. Ta-da! But it does require one catalyst charge. And the catalyst charge is officially in-game known as Essence of Khajiit. You get one Essence of Khajiit, one catalyst charge, every 2 weeks. Now, Essence of Khajiit alternates with Spark Week. That's one way to think of it. Every week, you can get one spark fragment, which means every 2 weeks you get one spark, and alternating between getting that spark is, of course, your catalyst charge. So, where do the alts come into play? Because the catalyst charge is per character, it is possible to have 2 or more characters of the same class to unlock transmog appearances much faster than you can with one character. Furthermore, this secondary character could completely ignore the need to upgrade. Could completely ignore the need for upgraded 2-piece or 4-piece bonuses and have their sole purpose be the unlocking of transmog. The caveat here is, of course, that the alt must be of the same class as your main, but the more alts of the same class you have, the quicker this can go. So, if I have another rogue, for example, that other rogue might have Essence of Khajiit and might be able to do her own chest and unlock the appearance on her own. Whereas this rogue cannot convert this chest piece. Not yet. Not until I get another Essence of Khajiit, which will happen, as of the recording of this video, will happen on Tuesday. Now, the size of your alt army entirely depends on what you want to do. If you just want to unlock the paladin set, for example, maybe 1 or 2 extra paladins will be enough. But I'm a bit of a collector, collecting is my jam, so I have at least 2 of every class. In fact, I have a whole system of alts. So let me explain my system, though you do not need to do the things that I do the way I do them. I have 13 primary characters, 1 of each class, which I call my mains. This character, for example, is my main rogue. The rest of my characters I label the understudies, and their whole job, their entire job, their raison d'etre, I don't know why I tried French there, their reason to be is to collect transmog. So as I said earlier, in my system, the mains do progression and the harder content, the understudies do the easier content and gather gear for the catalyst. The gear you'll need to gather is any gear on the veteran, champion, and heroic tracks. All 3 of these tracks are available from solo content, and these tracks suffice for our purposes. Of course, if you do plus 10 or mythic rating, you'll also have access to mythic gear, but for the most part, mythic gear is out of our hands if all we do is solo content. But that does not mean mythic appearances are out of our hands. We can totally earn these. Here's how. Veteran, Champion, and Heroic track can all unlock not 1, but 2 appearances from the tier set. The way it works is through upgrades. If I mouse over a piece of Veteran gear, you'll notice it has 1 of 8 ranks. Now, Veteran gear rank 1 through 4, when catalyzed, will provide the Looking for Raid appearances for the tier set. Veteran ranks 5 through 8 will provide the normal raid appearances. Champion gear, when catalyzed, ranks 1 through 4 will give normal appearances, and ranks 5 through 8 will give heroic appearances. Note that there is overlap. Veteran gear rank 5 through 8 and Champion gear rank 1 through 4 will give you the same appearance when catalyzed. And this is the same when we make the transition from Champion to Heroic gear. Champion gear 5 through 8 will provide the heroic appearance, and Heroic gear 1 through 4 will also provide heroic raid appearances. Heroic gear, once upgraded to 5 or higher, will give you mythic appearance, and that is how you get your mythic set. You will have to get your heroic gear and then upgrade it all the way to mythic to unlock the mythic appearance. The important thing to do, of course, is to catalyze first and then upgrade. So, for example, I have these Spectral Gambler gloves. Suppose when I picked them up, they're just regular heroic gloves. Now, if I have those regular heroic gloves, I want to make sure, if I go and upgrade those gloves to rank 5, then I might miss out on a tier set appearance for those gloves. I might not be able to unlock it now because now I've upgraded it to the mythic level, which is 5 out of 6. So I need to catalyze it first. If I catalyze it first and then upgrade, I unlock both the heroic appearance and the mythic appearance. To do the upgrades, you're going to have to come here to Kuzulf, this dragon guy in Dornagal. This is right next to the bank. If you don't know where it is, you've been used to Dornagal. It's right next to the bank. So, you got the bank there. You got Bran back here. It's right in this little corner. Mythic Aspirations. So each upgrade is going to cost some Valor Stones and some runes. Simply put the piece that you want to upgrade in. And you can see what the cost is. So, if I want to unlock the mythic appearance for these gloves, I would need 30 runed Undermine Crests, 290 Valor Stones, and 15 Gilded Undermine Crests. And as you can see, I do not have enough crests. I do not have enough gilded, and I do not have enough runed. I would have to go and farm that. I do have plenty of Valor Stones. So how would I get these crests and Valor Stones? Well, Valor Stones drop from everything. If you're running Delves frequently on that particular character, you should be good on that. Some alternatives to running Delves includes turning in chet lists and Undermine, doing world quests, and weekly quests. Crests are best farmed in Delves if you are not also doing group contents like M+ and raids. So here's the breakdown of crests from Delves. Tiers 1 through 5 will give you Weathered. Tiers 6 through 7 will give you Carved. and tiers 8 through 11 will give you ruined. The higher the tier, generally the more that you get. You can also get gilded crests from delves, which are necessary to unlock mythic appearances. To get gilded crests, you must clear tier 11 delves, and at the end of the delve there is a gilded chest for 7 gilded crests. You can do this 3 times a week per character. You'll know if you can still get gilded from delves by looking at the entrance to a tier 11 delve. Mouse over the gilded stash icon and it will say gilded stash looted 0 of 3 resets weekly. So this character can still do tier 11 delves and get gilded. But wait, there is more. You'll notice that this character also still has a chance to receive a Delver's Bounty. Each delve has a chance to drop a bounty. You can either get lucky and get a bounty map from the bountiful chest at the end of the delve, or you can get the map off of the underpin if he spawns in your delve. If you do the bounty in a tier 8 or higher delve, you will get more gilded crests. Tier 8 and 9 delves will give you 6 gilded crests, tier 10 will give you 8, and tier 11 will give you 10. So that's a grand total of 31 gilded a week per character. Of course, if you are also doing Raid and Mythic Plus, that will help your crest acquisition immensely. So, now that you know how to get crests and upgrades, how do you get the gear for the upgrades? The gear that you're going to be transmogging into your tier set. Well, the way I do it, as I've already said, is the understudies do the easy content. They do the lower tier delves, starting at tier 6. If they do the tier 6 for veteran gear, regardless of whether or not I think they can handle harder delves. The mains, such as this rogue, they start at tier 8 and work their way up to tier 11. This way the mains can be focused on progression and do the more time-consuming grinds. Veteran gear is the most common gear to be found. You can get 2 pieces a week from Pinnacle caches. It will also rain Warbound veteran gear if you do the Nightfall event and its associated dailies. The Nightfall event can be found in Hollowfall, over to the west of Meridil. So Meridil is right here, Nightfall event is over here, and it's got 2 components to it, the event itself and the daily quests. You can do 3 daily quests a day per character, and you can do the event on the hour, every hour. The daily quests and the event all drop veteran gear, and it's all Warbound gear. But there is a bit of a caveat to it. When you're doing the Nightfall event, or the dailies, the Warbound gear that drops will be based on the class that you are playing, but not the spec. If it is useful to the class, it can drop. For example, when I was doing dailies on my Retribution Paladin, I got a Warbound Veteran Shield, despite my loot spec being set to Ret. It will also be locked to your armor class, so all the gear that you get on your Paladin, for example, will always be plate. So if you are using Nightfall to farm veteran gear, and it probably is, aside from tier 6 delves, your best source of veteran gear, you might want to make sure that you're doing it on the right armor class if you are targeting a specific class, or to be doing it on at least one character of each armor class, such as cloth, leather, mail, and plate. Veteran gear can also be purchased by Undercoin, which is a currency that is earned in delves. This gear can also be catalyzed. So if you have a character that has a lot of Undercoin, you can buy a piece of Warbound veteran gear and send it to whichever character you want to be catalyzed for transmog unlocks. Note that when you look at this vendor, The default will always be your specific class. So I'm on my rogue right now, and I only see leather. But of course, all I have to do is go down here, select all, and now I can see everything. And even though some items might be red, I can still buy them. I just can't use them because it's male, for example. Veteran gear also drops from Tier 6 delves, Tier 5 and 6 delves. You can also get veteran gear from the Great Vault for Tiers 1 through 4, as well as from world events such as the Theater Troupe, Special Assignments, Farron's Weeklies, Brand's Weeklies, the Titan Disc Weeklies, Spreading the Light, Awakening the Machine, and the Weaver's Lair Weeklies. Champion gear is a little harder to come by. You can earn champion gear from Tier 7 to 11 delves. You can also get it from the Nightfall event once a week per character. You can do the weekly quest for the Nightfall and get a Radiant Emblem of Service, and turn in that Radiant Emblem of Service for a champion piece of your choice. Tier 4 through 7 delves will give you champion in the Great Vault. There are also occasional weekly quests, such as Time Walking or Delves Week, to keep an eye out for. Check with Archivist Frithron every week to see if she's got something. The World Boss in Undermine. Once a week will always drop per account one piece of Warbound Champion gear. This can also be catalyzed. Heroic is the hardest to come by for solo content, and you will not get any mythic gear whatsoever from purely solo content. When using a bounty map on Tier 8 or higher, you will get one heroic item. All Tier 8 and higher delves will give you heroic in the Great Vault. Note that no crafted gear can be used in the Catalyst. You will have to decide yourself if you want to use Gilded Crests on heroic pieces to unlock mythic appearances, or if you want to use your Gilded Undermine Crests, if you want to use your Gilded Crests to buy a Gilded Undermine Crest to craft a 675 eye level piece. That is up to you and your goal with that character. And that is everything you need to know to use your alt army to unlock your tier sets. But before we go, I want to talk to you about two very useful tools to help you with this process. And they are All the Things and Wow Thing. So let's begin with All the Things. Now, All the Things is a massive add-on, and it shows you everything that you have and have not collected. So, for example, I can go to Blackwing Lair, and I can see which bosses still have appearances for me to collect. Now, for our purposes in this video, what I'm interested in showing you are the tooltips. So, for example, if I mouse over my Spectral Gambler's gloves, you'll notice that up in the corner it says Upgrade collected 1 out of 2. So that is from All the Things, and it is telling me that there is one more appearance that I can get from this piece of gear. If I upgrade it, I will get the mythic appearance. Not only does it tell me that there are pieces that I have that I can upgrade to get more appearances, it can also tell me that if I put something in the Great Vault, for example, if I put something in the Catalyst, for example, I'll know if the output, the tier set item, is collected or not. In this case, I do not want to convert this back piece because I've already collected the rogue back piece. Any piece of gear that I have not collected, All the Things will show me in the corner that it is not collected. So you can look at these inscribed leather boots. It says up in the corner, not collected. And since they're cheap, I'm going to go ahead and buy them right now so that I can have it collected. Oops. I haven't had coffee. Sue me. Anywho, the All the Things tooltip really helps. It helps you know what you have collected, what you haven't collected. It also helps you, double check when you go to the catalyst, insert a piece, and see if it's worth catalyzing or not. This chest piece, for example, it says upgrade, collected 1 out of 2. So when I catalyze it, I will not get a new appearance, but I will get a new appearance when I've upgraded it after I catalyze it. So perhaps the next time I have a catalyst charge, I might choose to upgrade this piece. But that's a decision for me to make in the future. But All the Things helps me make that decision by showing the relevant information in the tooltip. The other tool that I want to talk about is called WowThing. So this is WowThing. WowThing is a massive website that you can use to keep track of all of your characters. There's so much you can do on this. I could do a whole video on it. But right now, we're interested in 2 pages on WowThing. The first is under Items. We go to Convertible, and we can see what options every single character I have, every single level 80 character that I have, what options they have for catalyzing and upgrading in order to get new tier set appearances. So for example, if we look at the mages, if Je ne sais pas upgrades these pieces up here, then she will earn some mythic tier set appearances. Of course, these pants also have to be catalyzed. Now, you can tell it can be upgraded because it's got a yellow plus sign. The yellow plus sign means you can afford it. The red plus signs means you cannot afford it. Pieces that still need to be catalyzed have this little hurricane symbol, or whatever you want to call it. Since it's yellow, it means I can afford it. So I can mouse over the piece, see what it is. It's just a piece of regular heroic gear. It's 1 out of 6. And I can catalyze it, then upgrade it, and then I can earn the mythic appearance for the mage tier set. It also shows what all of my alts can do. So my mage, Sizer, whose typical job is actually to do Warlords of Draenor, perhaps for whatever reason I might decide to take her to Nightfall and get a Radiant Emblem of Service. So it's showing me I can use a Radiant Emblem of Service on this character to get boots and then catalyze and upgrade those boots for an appearance. I can also do that with Conquest. So I could use Conquest if I wanted to do PvP. So looking at the convertible screen really helps. It really helps you decide which character can do what upgrade, which character can do what catalyst charge, and you can plan out how to do this so that you don't waste catalyst charges, and you can decide for yourself what's best for you, how to maximize the catalyst charges that you can get from different characters. So I have these 2 priests. I can decide if I want Lindara to work on the headsets, for example, if I want her to work on the head, while my priest, my main priest, Acerglin, maybe on Tuesday she'll catalyze one of these belts, or the boots. It's a decision that I can make on Tuesday, but I can use this tool to help me make that decision. The other page on WowThing that is useful for this purpose is sets. If we go to sets and raids, we can see Liberation of Undermine, and we can see the progress that I've made so far this season. And that's how I use WoWthing to track how I am unlocking my raid tier sets. To recap, my mains do the harder content and work on progression, and they do the higher tiers of delves, while my understudies unlock the transmog and the catalyst from the easier content, and they do it at the expense of not getting their tier set bonuses and staying in the easier content. Even with alts, the 2-week cooldown between earning catalyst charges can be a bit onerous, but with alts I can unlock all appearances including Mythic, and I can do it all solo and before the season ends. So, I hope this guide helped you out, gave you some ideas on how to unlock the tier set appearances. And remember that this guide, for the most part, should remain mostly relevant in future seasons of WoW. Of course, if anything changes in Season 3, I'll try to come up with a new guide. And of course, we'll see what happens in Seasons 1, 2, and 3 of Midnight, and any other future expansions down the line. But for now, we are all done and dusted. I hope you have a good time collecting all of your tier set appearances. Thank you. And of course, if you enjoyed the video, the YouTube things, be sure to hit like and subscribe. Thank you and have a good night.